the vest?
Oh, it's
Let's see. We didn't bring it?
What?
Penny.
Oh, we don't know where it is. I thought it was over there.
Alright, bring it. Let's see. Jojo. Go there. Mahmoud. Mahmoud Omini. Agbo. Go to your left. And Justin. Go to your right. And Razak. Omini. You go.
Nekkul foofu.
Back line.
Kon dama ko fàtte gàlle. Xoolal ci beneen sac bi.
Razak in front of you.
Coach,
Didn't bring it?
you know, I wash it, but I forgot to bring it. It's downstairs, sorry. It's in the dryer.
Oh, okay. Oh, we gotta figure it out.
Dama ko fóot, maa ko bàyyi gàlle. Ko fàtte.
You have the yellow, the corn. You have corn? Bring some of the corn. The black one. All the corn. The one that I use. The small ones. The small ones. Bashir. The small corns.
Or just go without it.
Yellow!
Yeah. Yeah, all one team has their shirt.
Yeah,
Like,
win more. That's it.
I would like this.
We don't gotta hold the ball.
Walking in the grass is there's a high chance you step with some random guys.
Daniel, you got your, make sure you win all the time. Okay.
I don't know who's on my list. You're not good at food out.
John! John!
All right.
Go. Can we open up that way?
Huh?
Open up that way.
That's the best part. Huh? That's the best part. I already marked this. Balls in your hand. Daniel, you better hold this in your hand. Hey, ball out, Spike. Ball out. Spike, come on, man. I said stop playing with this. Hey. Back. Let's go. Back. Y'all ready? Who wants the ball?
In front there.
He's on your team. He's out.
I have here right now, I mean, the kids are practicing over there. So I have Coach Aliu and Coach John. Coach John, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good, good. Can you come in front of the camera?
Okay.
So what do you do for DMV Gainde?
Okay. I'm assisting the head coach here. as well as trying to help the little ones, the grassroots as well. So we help them, nurture them, so that they can mature in the soccer field.
Yeah, when I came, I see you were doing some drills with them.
Yeah.
And then, can you tell me what you were working on?
Okay, I was
like in the small category.
Yeah. We were working on passes, how to give accurate passes to your colleagues. And I realized that most of them, they could use their right foot, but they cannot use the left. So I was trying to work on it. Yeah. So
okay,
that's
Can you walk me through how you plan your tactical and practice session? How do you prepare for the little kids?
Well,
what are you looking for?
Yes, in fact, with soccer, I wouldn't say soccer alone. But once we are doing soccer, I will talk about soccer. Sports in general, it takes discipline. You have to be disciplined yourself, and then you have to listen to your coach's advice. And then the tactics, whatever your coaches tell you to do, you have to do that. And then by so doing, you'll be able to learn, and then you play and play well. Because in fact, most of the coaches here, we've all played the soccer before. Some have played from their individual countries, so they know a little bit about soccer. And then we are learning. I won't say we've learned everything. We are still learning. About the tactics and then the technicalities in soccer. So normally what we do here is that we try to let them build on their physique. We try to let them build on their stamina as well. And then from there we go to the ball itself, how to control, how to juggle with the ball and all that. Yeah. So those are the basic, things in soccer, how to hold the ball, handle the ball, how to give a pass, and all that. Yeah.
Okay, because I see you, like I said, with a little boy, and I know player development is very important at that age.
Yeah.
And then what is your philosophy? I mean, I see like you see kids. Sometimes it's kind of like difficult, just like to show them. You have to have patience.
Sure.
You have to have you do a lot of repetition, and then just it's not like. Grown up, you show them one time for them to grasp for it, and then how patient are you with those kids?
In fact, like you said, it's very difficult, when you are training the little ones, because you are expecting them to play in a certain way or what you've taught them, and then they'll be playing differently, or they can't grasp what you are, asking them or showing them to do. So you need extreme patience. You need extreme patience to do that. Because one thing, the youth or the adults will learn or grasp at once. The little ones have to, you have to go on, severally before, some will be able to get it, and then others, they can't get it. So maybe another time or another practice section, then you try and go on. You have to let them go on until, you realize they are getting it or they are getting somewhere. Then maybe you can move on to the next one. Okay.
I know that your kid is playing with the U14. What do you think about the academy? I mean, how do you think they're progressing, and how the kids are progressing?
Well, to be frank, I see they are progressing. They are doing well. They are trying to pick up. It wasn't like last year. I can say last year too they did well. The only thing or the only problem we have is that mostly parents don't bring their kids, they don't bring their children. So sometimes you'll be found wanting, you need the players, you need everybody on deck so that you can practice, or you can, whatever the tactics you want them to play, they'll be able to play, And then the problem we are facing, some are coming from far, Baltimore, others from Germantown,
it's a big challenge.
Gettysburg, it's a challenge. So the other challenge too is that, they might not be able to come to practice. What the coaches will be telling them, or the formation we have to play, whatever we teach them, most of them will not be here. And then on the game day or the game itself, they will come, and then you can't let them, sit down. You can't say no, you allow them. Sometimes you don't have your full squad. So when they come, you have to let them play. And then they'll be playing without knowing the formation you want them to play, or on the field or on the game day before you have to tell them this is the formation, this is the game plan, this is how I want you to play, and it's not easy for us. So we have a challenge.
Yeah.
We have a challenge when parents are not, bringing the kids, when parents are not coming to support us during our matches, because seriously, when you go, you realize, other teams, their parents, some, their moms, dads, some, grandparents, Sometimes I do go and then I go and do referee, and then I see grandparents coming there, even in that bad weather, you see, old men and women coming with their blankets to come and watch their grandkids, and it's so nice. So
isn't it about the culture? Because I know we here in America, everybody works.
Yeah.
Like the parents that you're talking about, they have a job like everybody else. So isn't like a culture or a sacrifice that they do for the kids? Why? Oh, anytime you go there, you don't see like, especially like African.
If we have to talk about culture,
Yeah.
then I think we should be filling the stadium.
Okay.
Because we, the Africans, or the Asians, soccer or sports is our thing. We play soccer back home, and soccer, sometimes there will be war. But because of soccer, you see people from different, culture, different parties and wherever coming together because of the soccer. So when we talk about our culture, then we should rather be filling the stadiums. But we don't come. Soccer is new to America. So I don't know if because of that you see them coming rather, I don't understand. But most of the parents, they sacrifice.
Yeah.
They come. Grandparents are coming
to
watch their children.
So do you think it's about the culture or like?
I don't think it's about the culture. What I can only say, if you want a better future, you need something, you need to sacrifice.
Okay.
I'm a Christian. My Bible tells me that. You can't receive from God if you don't sacrifice, if you don't do something. The Muslims, you need something from Allah. You need something from God. So you fast 30 days.
Yep.
You don't eat the whole day. You don't drink. It's a sacrifice. If you want our boys to develop, you want some to play in college, you want some to play professionally, then we the parents, we need to sacrifice. We need to bring them to practice. We need to bring them to the games. We need to sit behind and support them. I see especially the Spanish, the white. But I can talk of the Spanish. You see them, mom, dad, aunties, they come and they are losing the game, but you see them cheering them up. Sometimes I wonder, I say, hey, these guys, I don't understand. We are beating them, but they are cheering their boys.
Yep.
They come in their numbers. And then you see we only the coaches, and then you see 2 or 3 parents. I don't know. Maybe, the last time I was talking and thinking aloud, I said, well, maybe it's because, we the Africans, we always want to go and do something back home. So from Monday to Sunday, but my little advice, we need to sacrifice for our boys.
Okay.
If you say you are working,
Yep.
you will work before you realize, you break down.
And
From Monday to Monday, before you realize, you break down. And the money you are saving or fighting for, you use that money for your medical expenses.
And
So-
the kids, they grow fast. It's just like time, and then time goes fast. So if you don't spend the time with them, maybe,
now,
maybe
when
by
you
the
are
time
old,
they
will
grow
also
up,
leave you.
yeah, maybe by the time they grow up, you be like, they're not
You
close
need
to
them
you.
by your side.
Yeah, and then they go.
I have one man back home who is a member of parliament. When he was a member of parliament for 8 years, he never had time he was having 3 children. He never had time, so it was the wife. The wife was from Ukraine. So it was the wife sending the children, it was the wife doing this. In fact, when the children grew up, right now he's almost 70, and he's no more a member of parliament. He's at home, he doesn't have anything. The children, 2 of them are in the US now, and they brought their mom here. The other one is in a university in Ukraine. And so now he's back home alone. The children are with their mom. And every time he's complaining, their mom had time for them. He was taking them out, sending them here,
Just
wherever.
sacrifice.
And the elder one was a swimmer. So the man was always with him when he was going for games, swimming and all that. So the sacrifice we do today, we will reap tomorrow.
Thank you.
Other than that, tomorrow, I don't know, you'll find your children, they are busily doing something, And if you don't take care, either you'll be in Africa or they will send you to a home. They don't have the time. So, in fact, we need to spend time with our children now. We are all working. At least we make sure we close and rush and bring our children. So, I don't know if one day, some people, maybe some parents, maybe when they ask, they call out. I don't know whether they'll be fired or whatever. But one day, one Saturday or one Sunday you call out, I don't know. So I would just advise our parents and I'll plead with them. They should try come and support our kids. They should try come and support them during the games. And I know the children will be happy and appreciate it.
Thank you. That was
Thank
John,
you.
the assistant coach. And give me your last word. What is your last word?
My last word is that this year is our year. I have that resolution. This year is my year. I want you to, let this year be your year. Let this year be your child's year. Do something. Support him financially, wherever. All this tournament we are having coming up, we want all our players to come. At least we want them to be on the ground. We are practicing for the games. And then we'll be going to the games, so we want all our boys. So parents, please, if you say you can't support, you are working out, then try and then pay for these 3 tournaments coming up so that the children can go. God bless you all.
Thank you. All right, so now let's go. We're going to go and try to see. Coach, can I have some word with you?
Yeah. Good touches, what you see? L'intention est bonne. Who's asking?
All right, so we're here with Coach Mauricio. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing
I see you working the boy so hard. And then I just want to get some...
Good touches. Look at inside quick. Yes.
So, Coach, what were you working on? With your boys today?
Today we do a little bit de cassage and as just to get the weekend that passed, put it behind us, and then let's start all over from the board and see how they behave, And now today we do a lot of technique with them, like ball movement, a lot of passes, a lot of 1 touch, 2 touch, So now we're trying to play a game with them just to let them flow or relax in their body right now, feel the game, because they've been doing well so far. They've been doing well.
So I see that you have some challenge because you don't have like all the players all the time at the same time. So is something that just like preventing you sometime, just like I know it's kind of frustrated, but don't you think that's a big challenge for you to have everybody?
It is a big challenge. It is a big challenge, and sometimes the frustration not having all your player in practice and to decide, to see their form, their physicality, if they ready for the next game, you don't have them. But as a coach, what you have, you try to make them a little bit extra just to cover some deficit we might have in some player who don't make it to practice or who's not there. So we know what we have here. They're competent enough to play the game for what we facing, But yeah, it is a challenge, and that's where I hope the parents can understand when I asked the last time, meet me halfway, and I will meet you, because we already meet them halfway. So they just not, stick with the bargain that the fact that they didn't make it to the other half for us. So in many ways they didn't make it to the other half. So that's something I hope they can. So far, like you see what we have here, and the whole U14 group is there. The whole U14 is there. So with the rest of them, we don't know how water get inside coconut.
I'm kind of interested in building the culture here. What value or behavior do you emphasize most with your team? And how do you foster good sportsmanship both on and off the field?
Friendship, respect. as they are here, they all friend to each other. It's like a culture where it's like we all family here. You know, it doesn't matter where you're from. You know, as you see, we have different ethnic, different background here, so we work with everyone. So far, you know, we as the coach, we demand discipline, we demand respect, and that's all we have to do right now, because that's a very interesting group we have right there, you know.
And how do you identify players' development, strength and weakness? What is your approach to helping a struggling player like build his confidence?
The confidence level is let the player play the most. You know, it's let the player. CJ. You know, it's let the player play the most. You know, the more the player play, the more their confidence level is bring. You know, because let's say a player. See you Thursday. Yes. Good practice. Thank you. You know, the more the player come to play and he play with other kids, his confidence level is start develop. And you, as a coach, you try to build their confidence by put them in the game, put them to the place that where they feel uncomfortable and let them see it. You know, because you don't want to take that away from them. But the moment they open the door, you help them open the door. It's gonna be a different level, and for some of them here, you see when they come here, they shine. As we're looking at Hugo right now playing, you know, right now it's interesting to see him, you know, the way he move on the field and the way he used to play when he first came here. You know, it's those things. It's just like, I think the more the kids is play the game, and you help them also by build their confidence. I think that's a different thing. You see, some of them used to be shy, but now you don't see that anymore. Like this is the group that, you know, when you see them play and the aggressiveness in their game, that's what I'm looking for.
And last question, where do you see these players? Where do you see the academy, DMV Gaindes, and where do you see these players like in 5 years? And what advice would you give to someone just starting out as a youth soccer coach?
In 5 years, if the parents stick with the program, I think some of those kids right now, I can guarantee, they probably make it college, they probably go far with it, you know. And as a coach, I think you have to be patient. You have to be patient. You can't force the rhythm. You have to be patient, just like water. Come and watch, observing the player. See, because like I say here, you know, I don't build the skill. Any player that comes to me, I don't build their skill. I help them with their technique and understand the game that they play. You know, but after that, the rest, the player gonna figure it out. He gonna find out. He gonna play his game like he's supposed to. You know, so I think that's all we need to do. Be patient. Good question. I like that.
Coach, I know you're busy. Just last question. Sorry. You mentioned like the challenges. What's the biggest challenge you face as a coach, and how you address it? Also, how do you handle conflict between players or between parents during the season? And I'll let you go.
The challenge with the player, it's not coming to practice, because you can't have everybody. And like you see, our U16 is not there. When you look at the majority that play for the U16, they're not there. So that's the challenge right there. For me to decide who I'm gonna put in the game, how I'm gonna play, the system that I play, who I think is good for it and not good for it. So it's where the challenge is, not having all my players to build what I'm trying to build here. You know,
the conflict between players
the
and
conflict
between
between players.
in the season.
You know, that's one thing. It's like we are father here. We are father figure. We all have kids, and by observing the behavior on the field, the language, the behavior, and that's something you need to step on it quickly. You know, because everybody here is my children. You know, as a coach, every single player that play under my wings right now, they are my kids. So I supposed to see them as valuable as they were as my children. You know, I supposed to help them understand respect for each other, because it's not just the field. It's not just the player that you have conflict with. Why would you have conflict with a player that you play in the same team? How are you gonna be sharing the same ball with him in the field? You know, those are something I'm very strict on it. When I see it, I stop it right away, because no such a language gonna come here and disturb my peace here. You know, that on the pitch, that's our sanctuary. You know, you come here with respect, we're gonna treat you with respect. You know, if you think you have other thing in your head to disturb it, you going somewhere else, because we're not gonna tolerate that. We're not gonna take that, you know, from anybody here. You know, and this is why you don't see the coach like cursing at you. You don't see that. It's a good environment. You know, it's a good environment. At the end of the day, I just don't want nobody to come here and then think that they're gonna create that kind of behavior.
So education is very important.
Education is very important. It's the key, and we encourage the player to go to school to do the best of, you know, to do the best of himself. You know, and we don't want the player to act like a certain way. We want them to be somebody, something in that society, that no bigots or people that discriminate. We don't do that here. We want everybody. We want everybody to understand, when you come here, is one family. One family is the family of DMV Gaindes. That's all. We don't switch no other way, and we're not gonna do no difference when you come here like you think you better than. No, it's only one family. You know, we start from our U11, from our little one to the bigger one. It's one family. You know, but thank you.
Thank you, coach.
All right.
Thank you. Manager Pap, can I have some word with you, please? That's Pap Gaite. He's part of the organization. So he deals with a lot. He got a lot of hats. So can you present yourself for the DMV Gaindes Soccer Academy?
Oh yeah, my name is Papa Demba Gaite. So you know, I'm part of the management and part of the coaching. So Coach Modi, myself, and Coach Valère has you know, we started like, you know, pretty much this academy about like, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. And then we started like, you know, with grassroots and U9 and U11. And now we're here with like, you know, 2 different categories. The kids that we started with, you know, Bashir group, right now the U16. And then we have like another group composed by like, you know, Tamsi, Amadou, and all those ones. So those are U14 group, and then we have another grassroots that we started up like, you know, against this year. So you know, they working on their way to get better and better, and they started competing like, you know, in a different league. They did the winter league, and then now they're doing like, you know, the spring league. So you know, we working with them, like, you know, making sure like, you know, they're good to go for to replace like, you know, the other group, like, you know, as soon as like, you know, the U16 start like, you know, getting like, you know, to their way out, so that way they can step into the U14 group. So basically, in general, that's what it is. You know, so my primary role is basically like, you know, is to do you know, the Modi and I, like, you know, we're in charge of like pretty much the organizations, like, you know, as far as like, you know, putting the kids like, you know, in leagues, you know, preparing like, you know, them to have like, you know, practice, and then finding like, you know, fields for them, and then finding games, and making sure they compete like, you know, around the year. So, and then that's what it is basically. Yeah.
What challenges do you face in the regular basic managing this team? I mean, this club, I would say, because you say you got U14, you got 3 groups, like, or 4.
Yeah.
So I know it's kind of challenging sometimes. Just like, can you tell me about the challenges?
Well, I mean, this thing basically, I mean, it's about passion. So if you don't have a passion of the game, you can't be doing this because it's demand like a lot of sacrifice. So, I mean, Modi and I, and everybody you see here has a full-time job. This is not our job. So we just do this to create a platform, to make sure our kids, they have a platform to be able to compete, in the same leagues, the ones that, they have, they're playing bigger clubs and all those stuff. So that way, there's no envy. So they have the same type of training, and then they have the same type of opportunity, for them also, to shine and down the road. So that way, somebody can see them, and they have good exposure. So, but the biggest challenge is we need help, because as you can see, so pretty much between Coach Modi, myself, and what's the name, Coach Mauricio. So we do a lot of sacrifice. So try to keep the organization running. It's not easy, but so. We do it for the passion, and we do it also for our kids.
Okay, so you're talking about running the organization. I know it's going to involve a lot of finance money. How would you organize and run a team budget, including playing in league, tournament, buying uniform, and equipment, travel, something like that? And I know that having just grant or whatever, so it's kind of I don't think you guys have a grant,
No, we don't have a grant. We don't have a grant. So
are you getting any help? How do you manage?
Well,
that?
to tell you the truth, since we started this organization, I mean, ourselves, we never put ourselves in a situation where we need to get paid. That wasn't our primary thing. Our primary thing was okay. So any money that we collect, we reverse the money back, to the kid. So the priority, is the kids. So anything that we do it for the kids. So but as far as to run this type of organization, it requires a lot of finance behind, because as you can see, when we're playing leagues, every time we play in leagues, we have to rent the field. So in Maryland here, the fields are not cheap, so the fields are very expensive, because we want to make sure our kids, when they're playing, they play in a good, synthetic or turf field. So that way they don't get exposure for any type of injuries. So that requires a lot of money. So equipment, as you can see, we have to also buy equipment for them. We have to buy balls, and those stuff, make sure they have a proper training. Jerseys, we have to buy jerseys for them, right? So, and training jerseys and all that stuff. So, but majority of the stuff, as you can see, compared to to the bigger club, I mean, we don't charge much. We don't charge much. The bigger clubs, in Maryland here, and as you can see, majority of the clubs here, per season, per player is about $2,000, $3,000 per player.
So how you pay your coaches then?
So how we pay our coaches?
Do you pay your coaches?
No, we don't get paid.
Okay.
We don't get paid. So the only person we kind of help to remunerate him, but we think whatever we're giving him is not even enough compared to what he does. Because we have Coach Mauricio to run sometimes three or four different categories, spending his whole weekends with the kids in the morning to the night. So I mean, what we're giving him. So we're just lucky, we're working with somebody who understands the philosophy of what we're trying to do. But I think if we get some grants, that would be more easier for us, because we could be hiring some coaches that can help us and do a better job, because I'm not saying we're not doing a better job. We can do better, So we can do better because the potential is here, the desire is here, the envy is here. And we are surrounded with positive people that know the game, that played the game before, and that can make sure they can push this academy to go further.
And you guys are doing very good, because when I look at the ranking in Maryland and nationwide, so it's not that bad with that little resources that you have. How can you maintain that ranking, you know, and then be very competitive, because I know you're playing bigger teams that have a lot of money, but you know, I think you guys keeping up, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, like, you know, basically, so money wise, like, when you get to the field, it's not about the money. When you get to the field, like, you know, it's about, like, you know, what you put into your kids, what talks, you know, because when the ball starts running, you see a big difference. Okay, so through, like, you know, we would like to have, like, you know, those, you know, those type of, you know, the type of money that where we can, like, you know, be able to put our kids, like, you know, in a better condition, like, you know, to practice, like, you know, practicing on the better turf fields, and, like, you know, doing, like, you know, more competition, going to, like, you know, more tournaments, you know, going to outer states, like, you know, all those stuff, so to expose them, like, you know, to see, like, you know, different type of tournament and different type of way to play when they go outside, because sometimes, like, you know, you think sometimes you're better, you think sometimes you're good, but sometimes when you go outside and see something different, you know, you got a lot of work to do. So, I mean, I think, like, you know, the reason why, like, you know, we don't see a bigger difference when we get into the field, and why also in Maryland our ranking, like, you know, we are in the pack of the bigger club right now that spend, like, you know, a lot of money. So it's because of, like, you know, the people that run in this organization know the game and play the game before. So what we put into these kids and the knowledge that we're giving them and the type of, like, you know, training that we're giving them, so, you know, that push them to be, like, you know, a better player and a good player. So, in general.
And last question, I see that you are dealing with a lot of kids, you know, over here. Usually, you know, they're coming from undeserved, like, community, you know, sometimes mom is a single mom or single dad. It's kind of tough sometimes, and, you know, and how do you ensure, like, every child, regardless of skills, gets meaningful, like, you know, at least I would say player development, basically? How do you, because they could go, like, maybe outside doing bad things, you know, but you keep them here, you know, and then how do you develop them, you know?
Well, there's another thing, and there's very, very important thing that, you know, I wanna mention, like, you know, which is there's a thing that, like, you can see here, the kids that, you know, we have around here. The reason why also we try to do this thing, you know, because majority of this, either we have our kids in here, we have our kids that play here, and we have our kids that, like, you know, that hang out with this kid. So, you know, we're gonna make sure, like, you know, every parents have to, like, you know, make sure, like, you know, when they get here, they know, like, you know, their kids are, like, you know, in a safe place. Because I think, like, you know, looking at the people that run the organization, you know, you can see only, like, you know, only responsible people. You know, nobody, like, you know, does, like, you know, anything, like, you know, troublesome. You know, they're all, like, you know, good mentors, good coaches, and they're all here for the future of the kids. And in the same time, like, you know, we regroup them also, like, you know, to protect them, because we don't want them, like, you know, to be outside, you know, flirting or doing, like, you know, things, like, you know, with a bad crowd, and, you know, tomorrow, like, they're gonna be a bad citizen. So in order for us to be a good citizen, we have to make sure, like, you know, we keep them together with people that have, like, you know, the same value, the same culture, and the same type of philosophy. And then, you know, so as you and I know all the time, like, you know, what our primary thing is, like, you know, to make sure these kids, what we talk to them about, like, you know, to be good citizen, to be good at school, to respect their parents, to work hard, and to make sure, like, you know, to know that, like, you know, in this life, nothing is given. It's all about, like, you know, hard work. You put in the work, and at the end, you get the result. So there's nothing, like, you know, shortcuts. You know, if you do, like, you know, type of shortcuts, like, you know, you're just fooling yourself, because you're not gonna get nowhere. So in general, like, you know, we're protecting them, you know, because majority of them, like, you know, what I like also about this organization is, you know, in America, like, you know, most of the time, like, you know, it's you pay to play. You know, there's a lot of kids, talented kids are left behind, left outside, you know, the field because of their parents cannot pay for them to be in the club. So, and I think, like, you know, it's kind of sad because, you know, there's a lot of talent out there, and, like, you know, this academy, like, you know, is kind of like, you know, one of those academies that kind of give the opportunity for those kids that the parents cannot pay, like, you know, that big money, you know, so for little that actors, they chip in here. So, like, you know, we can also, like, you know, give them the same type of opportunity. But in general, what I want to say is not easy. It's very hard. It's very hard because this organization, like we've been running UNI like for 5 years. There's not even a single penny, that went through in our pocket. But in the same time, we can say we spend our money toward this organization, to stand up to now. So it's the reason why we're doing that is because we believe on the game, and we believe we have the passion of the game, and we love to be around the kids. And for us, the kids, when they are successful, that's our success. So, overall, that's what it is.
What is your last word, your call to the parents?
My last word I want to call to the parents is this, any parents that can come in and help their kids. When I say I know we're all busy, so like I said, I think I mentioned that. Coach Mori, myself, Coach Mauricio, all of us here, we have a full-time job. We have a family to feed. This is not our job. This thing doesn't pay us. This thing doesn't pay our bill. However, we manage to be here all the time to satisfy these kids, to make sure these kids, they get what they want. But the parents, what they can do, when we ask for them to chip in or to pay the little due that we're asking them, is for us to run this organization, because we don't want this organization to die. If this organization die, I'm sorry, but look at all these kids. You're gonna have a lot of these kids over here that's not gonna play the game anymore, and which is very sad. We got a lot of talented kids here that we need to put in the game. So parents, what they can do, help this organization. This organization is here for them. It's here for their kids. We take care of their kids. We teach them good value. We teach them a discipline, and we teach them the love of the game. And also we mentor them. We nurture them. We also give them good advice. For them to be good citizens. So and we push them beyond the limit for them to be whatever they want to be tomorrow. So we want them to dream high, think bold, and try to achieve by with hard work what they want to do. So parents, please take at least a little bit of your time and allocate that to your kids. This is life is short. Life is very short. This little time you're going to spend with your kids. These are the things that the memorable thing the kids going to remember. The kids when they grow up, they're going to remember these kind of things. So you got to make sure you put in a little bit effort. We know we're all busy. We know we all got to pay bills, but at least dedicate one day, one weekend. Come see your kids. Bring your kids to practice. When we ask when we ask your due, to pay your due on time, so that way we make sure we get this academy running, and we do what we got to do. So, but we definitely need grants. We need grants. We need money. So because I know for a little we're doing much. If we have money flourishing, we have some money, we have some grant, we can do way better, and we can have more kids. And Montgomery County, we can help a lot of kids in here. So we're gonna make sure our due diligence to make sure to get these kids out of the street, to make sure these kids. That's very important. To get these kids out of the street, make sure these kids they dream big. These kids they stay focused. These kids they go to school. They get their diploma, they get their degrees, and then they get a good job, and then they could get a good life next, at the end. And all the parents are, happy. So
well said. Thank you, Manager Pop, Coach Manager Pop. Thank you very much. So let's. Yes. Very good.
I need to listen, guys. Listen. When you play, listen to the voice of your teammates. Open up. Open up, guys. Open up.
Hey, Mr. Jabel. How you doing, man? I know you've been with this team for now how many years now? You've been the coach, you've been always around,
I know,
so
it's been years.
Uh-huh.
I can't even remember, when that started. But I know it was a long time ago, back in the day where we only had 4 players, I believe. It was Bashir, Yafatu, Omar, Chano, and Karim. So it was a long time ago.
I still have that picture.
I know, right? It was five musketeers.
I know.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, it's been a while. It's been definitely, yeah. It's been like years and years.
So meaning that you see like the club evolve, right? So from like a few players to a lot of players now, but still it's growing, but still we have some challenges, right? So what do you think like are the challenges of this organization? I know it's kind of tough to manage it. It's not easy because if you want to play like tournament, you want to play like league, it's going to require some money. Also it's kind of really tough sometimes to see everybody at practice. So can you talk to me about those challenges? How you deal with those challenges?
I mean, first challenge is actually being present for training. So that's I think one of the most important things that parents especially need to be aware of, because these kids cannot actually do really what they want to do unless they're actually coming in practice. So parents' involvement would be a key in getting to that level. That's the first thing. Second thing that I think is very important as well is commitment from parents, basically financially. The financial aspect is very important. I know it's always challenging, traveling and all of that require a whole lot. And then for the team to be able to do all of that, the money has to be there. Third thing, we're growing, so we still need people to come in and help out. I know people are busy. This is like a community thing. This is like our kids coming in here all the time, practicing, and then hoping that with this academy, going forward, they will be able to basically get to college, get some free scholarships. That's very important as well, because everybody knows that in this U.S. it's very, 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 very tough to really get your kids in college. So like those people who actually have like sent an amount of money that could actually pay the whole thing. So for the kids to be able to have like a path to get into college without actually putting a dime, or if not a little bit would be really, really, really helpful for and the kids and the parents. So technically grosso modo, that's what I think, are the biggest challenges that you have, those three. Just like, again, calling parents, to really, 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 commit, in order to get the kids to the next level.
Yeah, I see also you growing, and then it's going to require maybe more coaches. And like manager, Coach Pat just say, most of the coaches over here, they don't get paid, So how you going to maintain, like, getting a lot of kids, and then, the lack of a lot of coaches, how you guys going to manage with that?
Well, like I said earlier, it's all about basically, getting involved in helping our kids. So if I take it as mine being on the team, I'm just going to come in and then help out, no matter what. I'm not going to be expecting any single thing. So we don't have to expect a dime out of this, because the final actually goal that we want for these kids is to succeed.
So what is your reward? Basically, you're talking about succeeding, the kids succeed. Yeah, that's the reward that you're looking for, right?
Exactly, because that's the main thing. So why are we actually killing ourselves coming in here all the time trying to actually, get them to that next level? Because we want them to be rewarded. As parents, would be rewarded as well. Yeah, that's what I think is, one thing that, parents really need, to be aware of.
And I think also you guys doing a good job, because instead of just like going to the street or like playing video games, so you gather them over here, so they busy, So I think that's a good job you guys doing, but I think you guys need some help too, Have you ever just like tried to contact like the local government, try to get some grant or something like that? Because what you guys doing are big.
That's true. That's true. If anyone that would probably gonna be watching this, would be really like into basically helping us, that would be greatly appreciated, because at the end of the day, it's all for us. So governments definitely, will get you some stuff, but there are some steps that you need actually to basically, get into in order, to get those grants. Whomever is in the community knows a way of getting those, can definitely help out. And kids, we know, I mean, we all know, how kind of dangerous this country is. The fact that, they will actually be here, with other kids, staying away for any trouble, is really helpful as well.
So, talking about financial, so have you ever spearheaded a fundraiser or sponsorship drive? What was your approach and your outcome? That's just like having a barbecue, calling parents, just, I don't know, just have you guys done that before, trying to...
So barbecue did happen basically, at the end of season where we kind of gather and then, help out, basically not help out, I mean, gather and then, basically reward, the kids for all the stuff that they did and then say goodbye for, for a short period of time before we come back. But yes, definitely was basically, getting into that. Yeah, well, how about organizing a barbecue where people are going to be coming in and then bringing $10 or $20 to support? That'll be like, one thing that, can be done. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. There are a lot of ideas that, we can actually put on the table in order to kind of bring like some financial, financial support, for the kids. It's just, a matter of, us gathering, getting together, kind of brainstorming, as to, how we can make that happen.
Okay, so your final word, like for parents to help, this organization, because what you want to do is, this is a good program that you want it to last, And now I know that you're having some financial difficulties, and money is everything. So if you don't have money, especially in America, so a lot of things you cannot do. So what's your last call like to the parents, just to get involved, help out? Yeah.
Well, parents, if you hear me, we definitely need your help. We are into one thing that requires a whole lot of money, and there's a lot of people that are actually committing, with their time, energy, financially, to make it happen. So your participation and on-time participation, would be greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. It's just not for those who actually had kids, into the soccer part. It's for every single body that lives in the community, knowing that, whatever we're doing right now is for our kids. It's just not for just one person's kid. It's for every kid that actually is in our community. So the participation of parents, financially, support, whatever it is, if you can come in here at least like 2 hours, even, a week during Tuesdays and Thursdays, to help out. You don't have to have an extensive knowledge in terms of soccer. You can just come in and help out, whatever way. That help is greatly appreciated. So I guess that was my final word.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much for having me. And I hope that, the message would be actually, passed along to the entire community.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey! Good! Good!
Oh, yeah.
Hey! Wata.
Hey! Good!
Come on.
What's up? Oh!
Hey.
2 minutes left! What is that fly ball? What kind of game you play now? What's that? That's good for you, man. Sure. You return this time.
Hey!